Hello guys, my name is Reinaldo from 2G Studio and 2G Academy. Today I will explain about the making of Flower of Hope. The table of content of the making are first I will explain about the idea. Second I will mention all the softwares and plugins we use to create this scene. And third is about the workflow. In this workflow, I will explain about the camera composition and the camera setting, creating the environment. After that, we will go to material settings, and after that, go to lighting, and the last we will explain about the post-production using Photoshop and Magic Bullets. Okay, so the idea is the inspiration of the scene Flower of Hope actually come from Gundam 00 the movie. This particular flower constantly appeared through the movie. I really took a liking to this flower because of its representation of hope. So the idea was to create a desolate ground only filled with dried soil, small gravel, and wild grass. With the flower lying on the ground, I want to emphasize life around this flower, with everything growing around it. And to achieve this, I use a lot of clover and small flower to begin. Then it will grow slowly to cover the ground here. So the clover will also be growing on the other side of the ground here, as you can see on the image. And also you can see the wild grass scattered all over the place, which is, you can see the color is not as green as the clover. Okay, and at the same time, as you can see, the sun shines directly on the flower and also the ground around it. So it's more like a point of interest, it's like hope, also usually representation also represented by a light. So for me, this one is more like saying never give up, there are still hopes, and everything beautiful in its time. Okay, let's start with the creating the environment. But first, we need to set the camera composition and also the camera settings. So what we're going to do now is about we will show the rule of third in our viewport. To make sure to help us uh, easier to set the composition of the image. As you know, rule of third will use the 1/3 of the frame or 2/3 of the frame. Okay, I will set the resolution first. Let's lock the image aspect. As a point of interest, I will put the flower first. Because I already prepared the flower. Okay, let's create a physical camera here. Oops. Okay. Now, usually in photography, we oftenly use a 35 millimeter lens using our full frame camera. Okay, as you can see, this one is the flowers. Let's put the flower on the 1/3 of the frame, and let's adjust the height of the camera, so it's gonna be around like this. Okay, let's zoom it a little bit, and let's add more segment. Let's say around 50. Oh yeah, by the way, about the camera setting, I forgot. I rarely using vignette on my rendering, so I always do the vignetting effect on post production. So I will turn off this vignette effect, and as a start, I always use white balance as neutral, and the other I will leave it as it is first. So we can adjust the camera setting also when we do the lighting. Okay, let's create the environment. Let's use editable point and select this one, or probably like this one, and let's press this one to select to add more segment. I will convert to editable poly, and let's do some paint deformation. Let's try using one. Okay, I think it's a lot more better. So it's more like painting the ground. Okay, so I will reduce the size of the brush and make some. Okay, no. Let's adjust it more, like a bigger brush. Okay, oops. So the idea is to make like this one. As you can see, this black line is the 0 coordinate here. So we will need to create the ground higher than the 0 coordinates. Why? Because we will put the water at the 0 coordinates. Okay, so this is the idea how to create an environment. So just to make sure this one is lower than the ground. Okay, I think this one is quite good. So I want to create a more detail about the ground. So let's okay, let's push some another area, this one. Because the idea, I want to focus on the flower and the ground, so I want to make sure the water looks like a deep or dark water. So I want to create a next I want to create a plane for the for water. So here this this green plane is now will be used for water. Okay, so the idea is now to create a detail. So let's reduce the size of the brush. No, like some kind of, I think it's too powerful. So let's okay. So always remember, detail is everything. Why? Because detail will give a lot of volume to your image. Okay, so probably add more here. So it's giving more detail. Or probably here. Okay, like this. So this is the process how I create the environment.